everybody. Merry Christmas and welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are so excited today. We are here to talk about the big holiday touchdown movie, A Bill's Love Story. And since I know nothing about the Bills or really about football, I put it out to my fellow members of the International Film Society Critics Association. We have a Discord where we chat. I put it out there. Does anybody want to talk about Buffalo Bills movie, a Hallmark movie? And Marc, Rob, fellow member and fellow critic, he wanted to come on and do it and talk about it. So, Marc, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So this is your first time on Hallmarkies podcast. So you introduce yourself to the audience and tell little people about you and what you do and your work as a critic.
Well, I'm a critic for HughWatchIt.com. Also I have my own podcast. We should do this again sometime. We hit our fifth year this year and our 20th
Ah,
episode. You're wearing the Wicked shirt now. We're gonna cover Wicked next week. Well,
yeah.
actually, I guess maybe the time people hear this, the premiere would have already passed. But I'm someone who grew up a big fan of movies as a kid. Put that on to adulthood, as you can kind of tell by my gray beard. but I always love film, always love movies, and also I always love sports.
Uh-huh.
I've been a fan of football and the NFL since for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I'm from Washington, D.C., so the
Okay.
Washington Commanders, as they're currently known as, we had a Super Bowl running with the Buffalo Bills. Um,
Ah.
so, just through my love of sport, like I love all
Yeah.
sports, and so seeing what the Bills have done the last couple of years has been actually pretty interesting.
Mm.
Being friends with some Bill fans, like they're interesting bunch to say
Yeah.
the least. As this movie kind of shows you how
Uh-huh.
there can be certain towns within America that are really like populated and buoyed by love of sport. Like
Yes.
I think like bigger cities, like let's say like LA, for example, there's so many teams out there, like the
Hmm.
Dodgers and like the Kings and
Right.
the Rams and the Lakers. Like your sports identity can be filtered through a couple of different teams.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But
Well, and there's also like so much else going on in those cities, like even
yeah,
DC or LA, places like that. Whereas I think that I lived in Indiana for a while, and Indiana
okay,
is like such a sports town, sports place because that's it. That's what they have. Like that's the thing,
yeah,
So they're obviously huge into basketball. They're huge into, Notre Dame football. They're huge into NASCAR, like whatever it is, IndyCar, whatever it is to be into as far as sports, they're into it there.
yeah, for sure.
You know?
And and Buffalo is unique because there's certain cities that only have like a major professional team. Like they have like the Bills and also in hockey, the Buffalo Sabres,
Okay.
but for the very most part, like that is like an actual just like a Bills city.
Yeah,
Like that
that's a good
is
point. That's
yeah.
a good point. Where I live here in Utah, there's only one professional team with the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And people get pretty excited about them, but like our core is definitely like the college rivalry. It's more of a
Uh,
college town.
oh, BYU in Utah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. People get super into it. It was fun. Dave Portnoy was just here to cover the Holy War, the big rival game.
Yeah.
So, and I think he liked it better than he was expecting. And he found a bunch of pizza places that I never heard of. I was like, oh, okay, I need to get on this.
Yeah, that's his thing. I think he'd like one of his many things. I think he like tries to find like local pizza spots and like gives them
Uh-huh.
ratings and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you know about this whole thing with the stadium of the Bills?
Yeah, I did. So I think their weather, oh well, living in Utah, like you're no stranger to cold and snow. But for them, it's really like a big thing, obviously.
Hmm.
And so Yeah, the idea of like them getting a new stadium, which the new stadium, I think they actually show it in this movie how they're pretty close to each other. Like they're pretty like virtually in the same neighborhood. Um and
Yeah, they're
it
keeping even the same name. I guess the stadium, Highmark Stadium, and they're building new Highmark Stadium, and that will be starting in 2026
yeah.
as the home field. And let's see here that it does look like it has a higher capacity. The capacity right now 50,000 seats, and the new one wants 62,000 seats.
Oh yeah. So yeah, for most stadiums now, like in even the last decade, where I think it really started with the Dallas Cowboys stadium, where we've gone full maximalism with our stadiums, where we
Mm,
want the most seats, we want the most capacity, and we want the biggest like screens and the newest technology. And even my team, like the Washington Commanders, they just got approved for a stadium within the city of DC. The stadium may be named after the current president. Who knows?
uh-huh.
He
Yeah.
is rumored he may be pressuring to have that happen.
That
Which,
wouldn't surprise me at all.
yeah, but if
Yeah.
you notice, a lot of sports teams, stadiums, they don't just have like regular
Yeah.
names very much anymore. Like now they're like
Yeah.
Highmark, like actor insurance companies, are like
Yeah.
conglomerates or
I
energy
mean,
companies.
I guess in fairness, like somebody that's basically been president twice and been in the public, you know, for it's been 12 years, like it wouldn't be surprising to have things named after him. It's just a it just usually I think takes a little longer than what
Yeah,
he's doing. It's just
yeah,
usually happens a little bit different than what.
yeah, and when you kind of have the thumb on, can we approve billions of dollars for your construction
Yeah,
project?
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
the optics. Well, I mean, I don't know if we're concerned about optics in 2025 anymore, but
Yeah, that's fair. But that's interesting that you say that, because I would think that in the world of AI and social media and content and all that stuff, like the appeal of a live event is getting, I think, all the more important and appealing, right?
yeah,
Whether it's a sporting event or a performance event or kind of a thing like, and I think also, especially after the pandemic, like people want to gather, people want to find
yeah.
community.
Yeah, and the funny thing with these stadiums is, I mean, I'm wearing a Nirvana band shirt where this was a band who they weren't doing like stadium tours,
Yeah,
but like artists like Beyonce or like Bruno Mars, they're going to like actual arenas and actual stadiums.
yeah.
I think
Taylor
the
Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. Like, I think the local show is getting a little bit extinct, but
Yeah.
with the bigger venues and the bigger shows, like they're really trying to have these like premium events, and year after year, the most watched thing, the most watched live thing is always sports. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can bet anyone any dollar amount that in the last 10 years, the most watched event was probably the Super Bowl. And,
Oh
and
yeah,
and this
yeah,
year it likely won't be any different. So
yeah. I can't think of anything that would be even close to
yeah.
the Super Bowl. Yeah, that makes, yeah, totally. Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Well, so had you seen any Hallmark? Was this your first Hallmark movie? Have you seen them before?
As a kid that grew up on like cable and flicking through cable channels, I'm pretty certain I've like stumbled on the Hallmark channel a time or two.
Okay, yeah.
Been in relationships with someone, throw it on, kind of just there. But yeah, I would say of like the last few years, yeah, this is the first Hallmark movie I've seen. So,
okay,
yeah.
Great. Well, I'm glad we could introduce it. And I think it was introducing to a pretty good one. And I actually was not that excited about this. We have a preview show before the season starts, and just the summary, and because I'm not into football, so like all the cameos that didn't excite me at all, or there wasn't much here that sounded good. And I think I gave it our lowest rating. We give for the previews. It's called a lump of coal.
Oh,
and
no.
I gave it a lump of coal. And I also wasn't super excited about either of the stars. There were just nothing that was like I was very excited for, but that's why it's just a preview. We don't know. I haven't seen it. But I put it on, and I really enjoyed it. I have to say, I am a sucker for the friends to lovers trope.
Okay.
I think that is so, when it's done well, of course, anything can be done badly, but when it's done well, the whole like the yearning of it is very, I think, very romantic and well done. And I think they really did a good job with that here. Like, it was just like, oh my gosh, just tell her.
Yeah, for sure. And like this, actually, the funny thing is this happened to hit a couple of my like sort of my personal favorite of things where I'm into sports. I'm into the Sopranos. So we have two Sopranos characters. We had Joey Pants, aka Ralph Cifaretto, and Bobby Bakhtiari. Anytime I see anyone from like the Sopranos or The Wire, just like in random things, like I'm always happy. And like you said, the Friends to Lovers, like one of my favorite movies of all time is When Harry Met Sally. So I think that may be of our generation, that may be the most like famous example of that. And so that always carries a soft place in my heart too. And so yeah, I was coming into this, I think Hallmark movies, they have like a reputation or whatever, but and so obviously kind of coming into that and watching this movie, I was very happy that it was as light as I thought it would be. It was airy, but not in the sense of no one cares or like no one's taking it seriously or like we're just kind of like daffy or whatever. But I thought that it was a great tone for like a rom-com. I thought that the characters are very engaging and inviting, and it was cool to be around them and watching them like actually express their love for each other. And it's funny you said like none of the sports people matter to you at all, but for me that was like my childhood.
There were a lot of cameos. Did you know who most of those people were? The players and the coaches and former players, stuff like that.
Yeah, actually I did. One of the players, he died on the field. It was resuscitated.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard the story a couple of years ago about Darvin Hamlin. He was a Bills player then and now, and there was like a crazy hit that happened, and he unfortunately he did not have a pulse, but he was revived, and he's still playing in the NFL. He's still with the Bills, and he's the when they go to the hospital, which is a very cute scene. When they go in the hospital, there's like 3 Bills players there, and he's the one that has like the braids. He's like the skinnier one with the braids. And it's funny the tall. It's funny, like NFL players for the most part are pretty huge human beings, and when they were in the hospital scene, there's like there's the offensive lineman, and he's sitting down purposefully because he's like 6'5", 340. So so if he stood up, he would be out of
Yeah.
frame with every single person in that movie.
That's kind of
But
like in the romantic comedy Just Right, with
yeah,
them commenting in the Queen Latifah. They
yeah,
have to like make it sell the fact that Common is this basketball player, and so in the other scenes with the other basketball players, yeah, that they're like really trying to make them
really
like
hunched
hunch
over.
over, and they
Yeah,
tries to
it's
he'll look like a tiny man.
yeah. I'm 6 foot tall, but like if I stood next to like an NBA offensive NBA player or offensive lineman in NFL, like I would look like a child as well. So Um, but yeah, like, and it's actually funny. I thought, well, can we spoil like who appears in
Yeah,
the
so this is a
movie?
full recap. So yeah,
Okay,
so yeah.
I did think Josh Allen would appear, who's like this. He's the star quarterback of the Bills now, but also he is. I think he actually did win NFL MVP, and he's one of the faces of the NFL. And I thought
Mm.
he would appear, but
Is he the
instead
one that's engaged to Haley Steinfeld? Or is that?
They're actually married, I think.
Oh, married. Okay.
I think they
Yeah.
got married. But
Okay.
yes, that is the same guy, yeah.
Okay.
And in the film's dismount, they have when they're going into the field and they say we have a surprise, and then the first person you see center frame, that's Jim Kelly, who's basically like the greatest Bill of all time, effectively.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it was like my childhood basically on the field. It was like um the first scene that they actually introduced the NFL players is like three of the older gentlemen.
Uh-huh.
It's Scott Norwood, Thurman Thomas, and Andre Reed. And it's like, oh wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, we actually have like NFL like Hall of Famers in this movie. And
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty cool touch. It was nice seeing them
They
out
did
there.
a really good job with the cameos. If you could compare it to something, say like the Happy Gilmore 2 this year, where it was just like all these people just wanted to be in Happy Gilmore 2, all these professional golfers, whatever, and it's like distracting from the story, and it doesn't really add, anything. There were a couple of them that were funny, but whereas these, they were just kind of fun and they didn't distract. It was like the
Yeah.
right way to use those kind of cameos.
Yeah, for sure. And it was like they had the old and the new. They had like the Hall of Famers, but
Yeah, they
also
did.
they had a ton of like current players. I think in total, I think they had about like 4 to 5 current bills.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely cool. My my favorite line, I forget exactly what he said. The offensive lineman I was talking about, the tall guy, at the end of the movie when they're on the field and like they get together and everyone's like, "Yay, finally it's about time." And he's like, "I know that's right." It's just like it was like the perfect amount of cheese,
Yeah.
but also it was still great because I would actually have said the exact same thing.
Well, and I think the fact that they were able to work in this new stadium build, that
Yeah.
was very smart because it that was a very natural way to work in all this nostalgia and all these cameos and other stuff like that.
Yeah, and so
That made a lot of sense.
yeah, and like the actual kind of we're dismounting the year, so this is a Christmas movie, obviously, and this is kind of the last hurrah for the stadium.
Yeah.
And the way, the NFL is, and you have the playoffs which go into January, but at the same time, you don't know where you'll be actually playing.
Yeah.
And so and for the Bills, they're a very good team. They're a pretty good team, which means they would have home field advantage. So hopefully they would be someone that would be playing, into January and
Mm-hmm.
February for the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. But it's not. It's still a crapshoot. So
Right, right.
I
Yeah.
think the choice of like incorporating a stadium opening, well, with this Christmas story, I think it was a
Yeah.
pretty good
It
combination.
did. It fit with theme. It made things work. And so this is the second of these holiday touchdown movies that they've done with it's actually with NFL Films. they're working together and everything. And so the first one was about the Chiefs.
Did you like
And
that one?
I did like it. It had a really good writer, one of the best
Okay.
working for Hallmark, and so it helped elevate it because it was a very nutty concept. There was like this magic hat that if they didn't wear the magic hat, then they were going to lose. The Chiefs are going to lose, and so it was a bonkers concept. But it actually did work pretty well, and this also worked pretty well. They've done a good job with both of these I never would have thought, because again, I'm just not a sports person at all, and I wouldn't have thought football and Hallmark, that would be a good combo. But good
Hold
writing is good writing.
let's go back to the magic hat for a second. So,
Yes.
was it a literal magic hat, or was like a superstitious? I have to wear this hat, or I believe the Chiefs will lose.
It's mostly the superstitious
Okay.
kind of variety, but like they keep a little bit of whimsy.
That's
Kind
so
of.
funny.
There's a little bit of whimsy.
So I mean, yeah, like sports fans are like, I know some that are like really superstitious about like,
Yeah, you got to
I
wear like a particular shirt, or you got to eat a particular meal, or yeah.
yeah, I know people that like they refuse to watch sports with any other person. Like they have to watch it alone in a closed
Oh
room
yeah.
because they will go psycho if something weird or bad happens.
Yeah.
I've never been one of those people. I hope I never become one of those people. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean I love sports. I've become overwhelmed when sports teams have won. Being a fan of like DC sports, we did not get sports for sports championships for a long time, and
Uh-huh.
then we got the WNBA championship, the MLB World Series, and then the hockey Stanley Cup, and it happened basically within a 2-year window, and it was phenomenal.
The only sports that I've ever really gotten super, aside from swimming, I do love to swim, and I love watching, I love swimming. But has been the Olympics. The Olympics I always loved as a kid. Always looked forward to them, coming, whether winter or summer. And of course, being here in
Yeah.
Utah, getting to be part of the Olympics, that was unbelievable. And I'm so excited for 2032 for them to come here again. There's something about like when nations are competing that I think's really fun.
Yeah.
But even then, it's hilarious somehow, because like every time the Olympics comes around, I'll particularly usually follow gymnastics or figure skating. But like I don't follow them on like a regular basis. It's not like I'm up on the, local gymnastic meets and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like somehow my Facebook algorithm still, even on a non-Olympic year, thinks that I am like super into gymnastics.
That's
Figure
funny.
skating. I'm always getting all these posts from like, like the Oklahoma Gymnastics Federation. I'm like, why am I seeing this? What's going on?
They're trying to get you ready. And
Yes.
it's funny, like you talked about the Olympics. The Olympics last year, I think it was like maybe the greatest Olympics coverage like ever.
Yeah.
I know we're kind of in the streaming wars, so to speak, but Peacock did like an actual amazing job with like how they handled the Olympics.
Yeah.
It was the most Olympics I've ever watched. And it
was
was
fun.
great. It was a great
Yeah.
Olympics last year
Yeah.
for sure.
And I love watching like the really random sports.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That you're watching like a badminton or a curling meet, or whatever's in equestrian. Like it's just bizarre, but like I love it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I turned on women's rugby,
Yeah.
and it literally I turned it on, and the first play was like the U.S. women's team game-winning bronze medal game. It was literally like the last play of the game, and I just happened to catch it. It was great.
Yeah, it is great. Like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks at Aura Frames. We all know that struggle of trying to find the perfect gift for our loved ones. And oftentimes we run out of time and we end up giving them a gift card, which is no fun. So this year you can break that habit of the gift cards and go with something that is thoughtful, that is easy, and that they will love with Aura Frames. Aura Frames are digital frames that you can load from anywhere. In fact, you can preload before you give the gift. You can do unlimited free photos and video on your Aura frame. You can personalize the gift with a message. You can have a gift box with it. Every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code Hallmarkies at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Hallmarkies. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell it fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Hallmarkies. Terms and conditions apply. Sounds like you enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I did. I thought it
Yeah.
was very sweet, very funny. I like the appearances that we got. Yeah, I like it. It was a good time.
Yeah. So, yes, it's called Holiday Touchdown, a Bill's love story. And this was directed by Dustin Reichert. It's written by Vanessa Morano and Danielle Morrow. And it stars Holland Roden and it stars Holland Roden and Matthew Daddario. And they play BFFs, best friends, but is there something more? And sparks fly between two lifelong Buffalo Bills fans as they try to discover the identity of a mysterious Christmas time gift giver. And it's always nice in these Hallmark movies when you get a main romance, but then the secondary romance. And I thought that the romance for Uncle Tommy and Mia, I think her name was very sweet and very enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of interesting how I think for a lot of rom-coms, they treat the secondary romance as like a C D plot line or whatever.
Yeah.
And this one, I was super surprised that it fully cleared out and actually let them have like an actual moment.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just as compelling as like the main storyline that we were going through. And so Joey Pants, I love my guy Joey Pants. So like like watching him cute. Yeah, like he was very cute. In that final scene, I thought it was really great. But also like throughout the movie, like he really was just someone who just felt like an uncle. Like he felt like a favorite uncle, and it was pretty great.
Yeah. And it is nice in these Hallmark movies too, when they have a veteran performer that kind of grounds the film, gives it a little bit more dramatic heft than it might otherwise have. You can see, okay, this person is on a little bit different level of acting ability than everybody else. But it's great.
Yeah, I mean,
he kind of did that for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's been acting since what, the 80s, or maybe even longer than that. So, but yeah, you definitely need that like guiding light of, let's just have someone who is a seasoned vet. Let's have them see we can groove a couple of pictures to them. Let's have them like set the tone for the scenes. And like even the scene where they're like in the backyard throwing the football around, like I said before, like the final scene on the field, like any scene that he's in, there's not like a wasted breath that he has.
Agreed.
And so I think you need veteran actors that could do that, and he did that really well.
Yeah. So we start out with her on this date, and she is very frustrated because I think if you are going to if you're going to take a hardcore sports fan on a date, you shouldn't take him to a sports bar. Like that's
not what you want. A sports bar on a Sunday night. Yeah, not
she's like looking.
Yeah, like I mean, date nights are typically like Fridays and Saturdays for a reason. So you got to read the room, buddy. You got to read the room.
Yeah. Like maybe make it like a lunch date. That's probably the way to go.
For sure. If it's Sunday night football, just make it a Sunday brunch date. It'll be good to go.
So there were a couple cameos that were Hallmark specific that you wouldn't recognize, but at the bar, the bartender is actually a very popular Hallmark actor. His name is Andrew Walker, and he's a pretty big star for the network. So that was kind of fun to have him be like a little cameo.
It's funny, I kind of noticed that, and I thought they were gonna like give him like a character arc, but they
Yeah.
just cleared out for him, and I was like, okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that makes much more sense now as you
Yeah.
explain that.
Yeah. And then also at the at the big at the tree shopping when they're going to get the Christmas tree, they have a little cameo from the couple from the Chiefs movie.
Oh,
So
oh,
yeah, Hunter King and Tyler Hines
nice.
are briefly in that scene, and I forget what they say. And I'm not sure why they would be in New York, but because they're, they're
And Buffalo of
Chiefs.
all places, like,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
But that was fun to have, a little cameo from them. I mean, I guess maybe Tyler in the movie he worked for the Chiefs. So maybe
okay.
he was there for some kind of football thing. I don't know, I can't remember. But anyway, so that was fun that they had that as well for Hallmark fans. And we see that, she is, frustrated with dating.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And but she's a doctor. She's a very good doctor. She is there for her patients. She's helping them and very dedicated.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this guy should lock this down years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
He's playing
But I,
games.
but I loved the fact that everybody could see it.
Yeah.
Everyone, even the other players, they're like, "Oh, he's totally into her." That was funny. That was a very funny recurring gag.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, yeah, because even the so when Gabe is like walking down the hallway with the bald guy, that's the Bills head coach.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And and I
I could tell that when I think he even says coach.
yeah, he
He
calls him
refers to him
coach.
as
Yeah, he
coach.
calls him
Yeah,
coach. And when like the scene dismounts him saying like, yeah, he's got to get it together or something along those lines. Like, yeah, like
he's totally into her.
like everyone in the greater Buffalo area knows they need to get together.
But that's why Friends to Lovers is so compelling because once you put it out there, you can never go back. Like
Yeah.
it and like so it's such a risk, which makes it exciting to be like,
Oh
oh my
yeah.
gosh, like, can I say it? Should I not say it? Like once it's out there, and we can't go back.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it work. When it doesn't work is when the person just has to be so oblivious, that how
Yeah.
can you not know that this person who is obviously doing all this nice stuff for you and is obviously in love with you, how can you not know? Like it screams credulity.
Yeah.
But in this case, they hadn't like been together that much, and now they're spending all this time together. And so it was believable that she wouldn't have seen it, but she was also kind of into him, but afraid to say it. So they were both kind of uncomfortable in the same way.
Yeah, they kind of explain how, they got a little bit separated due to time and like due to
Yeah.
like college and like med school and stuff like that, which yeah, I think is definitely believable. Like as someone who went away from home from college, like the like getting back home, like that's definitely a task. And so
Yeah.
yeah, so the way they kind of like set up how they were into each other, but it's kind of like right place, wrong time, wrong circumstances, stuff like that. And then them like actually getting back together, like kind of having it aligned. I think it worked out.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
it
thought it was
did. It did.
pretty solid.
Oh yeah, I was super into it. I was like, oh, because like I said, when it works, you feel the agony. You're like, please, just these people. And one I really like, Friends to Lovers is What If with Daniel Radcliffe and uh oh shoot, I can't think of the girl's name. But anyway, that one's an underrated one if you like that kind of thing. It's got Adam Driver and Mackenzie Davis playing a married couple. Speaking of a really good secondary couple,
Okay.
they're very funny in it, and I think it's Zoe Douche. I think. But that's the girl.
Yeah. Zoe
Zoe
Kazan.
Kazan. So I was
Yeah.
close. Zoe Kazan. Anyway, that one's a good one. And they're friends for like decades, and they just are always not single at the same time, and they just never. And so you start to feel like the agony. I'm like, oh my god! But it's a lot of fun.
All right, I'll put it on the watch
Yeah,
list. Something
people
on the watch
forget
list.
how funny Adam Driver can be because of Kylo Ren and all that stuff. But you think of Logan Lucky, you like what if like he can be really funny.
Yeah, were you a big fan of his? Well, did you watch Girls during that era? Because this is
No,
around
I
that same time.
I didn't, but I heard he was good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Girls was I think Girls in that moment of time was a very interesting bookmark. But
Hmm.
he was actually, I think, as far as like performances
Hmm.
and even like funny, like you said, like people do forget like he's like in silence and like all these like big
Yeah.
dramatic roles now.
Right.
But he is
Marriage
someone that can
Story, stuff
do,
like that.
yeah, I mean that movie is not a fun time to say the
No.
least. But yeah, like he has great comedic timing on
Yeah.
Girls. I would I recommend people watch Girls? I think if you're interested in that time and also Lena Dunham, which she's kind of a fraught character after all these
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
but I think I do hold that show
Yeah.
into some kind of esteem. So,
Yeah.
but he's definitely getting it.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be a what if would be another example of the secondary characters. And if you think of actually When Harry Met Sally, I mean, I love the Carrie Fisher Bruno Kirby. That secondary
Oh
romance
yeah,
is really good. So it can be a very fun part of a good romantic comedy.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm curious about what would be your buffalo wings order? What would you
I'm a I'm a
spicy?
I'm a honey barbecue kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know, the gray's coming a little bit more, so we gotta monitor the spice situation
Yeah.
on foods now. But yeah, honey barbecue with sweet little kick of heat, that's always
Yeah.
good. I'm very surprised they mentioned lemon pepper wings, just because like that's like a more of a recent phenomenon.
Uh-huh.
Like I figure they like if buffalo just classic buffalo sauce, maybe barbecue, but yeah, for me, I'm honey barbecue. What about you?
Yeah, I would probably be more that style. I'm looking here at the actual Buffalo Wild Wings chain. They have sweet barbecue, teriyaki, honey mustard, Parmesan garlic, medium honey barbecue, spicy garlic, Asian zing. That sounds good. Uh, Caribbean jerk, Thai curry, hot mango habanero, and blazon.
So yeah, I'm at the point where I can't even give blazing a thought.
No, no, I
That's a
agree.
fast
I
scratch off.
I think honey barbecue, teriyaki, probably whatever that they have smiling, sizzling, and screaming, and I'm definitely a smiling girl. Smiling girl.
For sure.
Because I get such bad heartburn now, things like that. I just can't. I can't do the spicy.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not even sure for I haven't had well, I had jerk this year. I haven't had like jerk wings, but like jerk is great. But I think
It's
I may only got like 5 years left for jerk too. So.
yeah, the Caribbean jerk is in the screaming section.
Oh
So
yeah, the Scotch bonnet pepper. Yeah, it's for skinning for
and they
sure.
have the dry seasoning ones. That's the sauces ones, but the dry seasonings is salt and vinegar, lemon pepper, chipotle barbecue, buffalo, and desert heat.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not a dry rub kind of guy. I'm a sauce guy all the way.
Yes. I really liked the sense of family that the family that they created. I thought it was very believable that those
Yeah.
three women were sisters. That was very
Yeah.
well cast.
Oh, you know, the funny, I wanted to bring this up. You talk about the women in the movie, and one of the conversations that stuck out to me was it was a little bit of a throwaway, but I think they just included it, as kind of a homage to the Bills again, where they are, it's the tailgate for the last game, and they're talking about like their favorite Buffalo Bills games.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of this strange thing of like growing up like in the 80s and the 90s, and like we were told that like football is only for dudes, sports is only for guys or whatever. But some of the biggest sports fans I know like
Yeah.
are women.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, like all like the women, like all the women in my family like love football, like capital L love football.
Hmm.
All my friends like going to like high school and college with like always love sports. Like even now, like I have friends that are adults that that they're women that love sports, and so I thought it was pretty cool that they had like an actual like actual football conversation in the movie, just involving the women and none of the
Yeah.
guys. And so I thought that was
That's a good point.
a pretty
Yeah,
good
that's
time.
true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. One thing that was funny and actually not that common is the amount of Hallmark ornaments that they promoted in the movie. Because there's in the world of Hallmark, the things that happen in keepsakes and in the stores and other kind of things is like it's not a completely different. They're all the same business, but like media and keepsakes are are really separated. And you actually
Yeah.
don't see that much cross promotion as you would think you'd see in Hallmark. Like you would think that there would be like tons of Hallmark ornaments and Hallmark cards and stuff like
Yeah.
that in Hallmark movies, but you actually don't see it that often. So it kind of made me laugh that like not only do they have the glamour shot of the Bill's Hallmark ornament to show
It's like
everybody,
multiple. Yeah.
yes, but multiple scenes with ornaments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
that was
It
funny.
was, they were like in the gift shop, and I was like, why are we still in this gift shop? And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, it's Hallmark.
yeah,
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
so it's good to hear they don't go to that well like very often. You can only really do it certain times.
yeah. It
But
was
yeah,
funny.
the close up. Yeah, I got this secret ornament that I don't know who it came from, but here it
Yeah.
is. So that was
So
funny.
the lead Holland Redden, she's done a bunch of Hallmark movies, but this is my favorite that I've seen her. I thought she was really warm. She was really likable, uh, like a bit of a tomboy energy, but like
Yeah,
also very a great lead.
yeah.
Or I liked her a lot. And then this Matthew Daddario, this is his first, I believe, for
Oh,
Hallmark. And so that was fun to see him. I guess he is the brother of Alexander Daddario.
oh wow. All right, keep it in
Yeah.
the family. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and he was great. I think he has big potential for this genre. He was warm, he was handsome, but he had like an every man quality to him that was
Yeah.
very appealing. Because sometimes when they cast certain people, we're just like it's strange credulity that someone could friend zone somebody like this, they're like,
Yeah, the 6'1" handsome guy with a square
yeah.
chin.
When
He's
like,
not getting a lot of callbacks.
yeah, yeah. If it's strange credulity when people are like friend zoning, Brad Pitt or something like it's a little unbelievable. Whereas there was an everyday quality about him that it worked. It really worked. I thought, well,
Oh yeah. So I thought, I mean, hearing you saying that this is his maybe not first like film. Yeah, it wasn't his like first film, but his first like Hallmark movie. Like
yeah,
the idea that like, for these movies, you have to be someone that is open, that is warm, that is vulnerable.
hmm,
You have to be someone that can charm as well. And I thought that he showed that he can do all those things.
yeah,
And I mean, if we just take off the moniker of like Hallmark movie trademark, if we just say I got a script, it's a romance comedy, family, not it's not a real family drama, but we
yeah,
have like family parts included. I need someone that can charm, that can be vulnerable, that can be funny. Can you do this part? And he is someone that's proven like, yeah, he can actually do that. And so
yeah,
I thought he gave a solid performance. I do think that I think Holland was my favorite act other than Joey Pantoliano, obviously.
Right.
I thought she was my second favorite performance in the
Yeah,
movie.
she was really good. And like I said, I haven't been wowed by her so far. And I mean, she's been fine. I haven't hated like her performances or whatever, but this has been my favorite of hers. So I was really happy to see that and to see their chemistry. You were really rooting for them as a couple. You wanted them to get together.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I thought they did a good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. I'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Uncommon Goods. The countdown is on. Holiday shopping season is officially here. Uncommon Goods takes the stress out of gifting with thousands of unique, high-quality finds you won't see anywhere else. Don't wait. The most meaningful gifts get scooped up fast, and now's the perfect time to cross names off your list. What I really liked when I looked at their website is that you can go to the exact category of the person that you're shopping for. So you can look for gifts for women. And then in particular, they have a whole section for moms, for grandmas, for wives, for teenagers. And within each of those categories, there's all these creative ideas. And I had a lot of fun looking at the teen category. I have some nieces and different things that would be fun to shop for. And I love the creativity in so many of the gifts. You've got create your own reel viewers. You've got a photo and label printer. I definitely think there is something for everybody, and it's worth checking out their site. And it's also nice that when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3.1 million to date. So don't wait. Cross those names off your list before the rush. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/Hallmarkies. That's uncommongoods.com/Hallmarkies for 15% off. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. In the wrong hands, because Hallmark loves doing what I call like research movies, where it's like we've got to find the letter, or there's like a ring or a coin or a we got to, and sometimes those can be really boring. So in the wrong hands, this could have been very boring, but I thought they handled it just right. Like it was just a means to an end to get these two characters together. Plus, you had the secondary, as we talked about, the secondary romance that was so sweet. So it they didn't get lost in the research of it.
Yeah, and I think that it was I think I think you needed a force to kind of bring them together, obviously.
Yeah.
You needed a reason that they would just be like alone, kind of confined with each other and
Mm-hmm.
try to like build that like actual relationship to each other. And
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty interesting twist on how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we maybe have like one too many scenes of it? Probably.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I think like I think it was I think it was worth it because of the bridge of getting Maya
Yeah.
with the uncle. And I thought
Yeah.
I thought the dismount of like what that storyline led
Mm-hmm.
to, it was
Mm-hmm.
worth the journey of
Yeah.
that.
And there were enough breaks so that it didn't get too boring or tedious.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was really sweet that scene where she's with her patient trying to help her to with the needles,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. And she was never demonized in the movie for being a hardworking doctor, for being dedicated to her job, which sometimes does happen in rom-coms. The
Yeah.
ice queen of business, you're good at your job means you're a terrible person if you're a woman,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, men don't have to worry about that stereotype. So yeah, but I know what you're talking about though for
I mean,
sure.
the only time they do in Hallmark movies is if they're the wrong guy. Then
Okay, well.
usually you're like you're obsessed with work, whereas like the right guy is like the hometown hunk. He's not.
Hilarious.
But yeah, no, exactly. And we have the he tries. The other thing that made it work too is he tries like a couple times to tell her. So
Yeah.
you building up that anticipation. He tries, and then there's always interruption. He can't tell her. And so yeah, that
Yeah.
was fun. They do have the crazy Go Bills lights on
I
their
ca-
house.
I counted. Well, you cannot count the amount of Bills merch in this movie. Like,
Oh yeah.
if there was a drinking game of like count how many times you see the word Bills, you would
Uh-huh.
probably die in like 30 minutes. I think there's like two scenes where there's no Buffalo Bills merch.
Yeah.
It's all embedded. But no, I did think that this was actually an interesting twist of if you kind of take like the Bills ness out of the movie, you still have a pretty solid
Yeah.
holiday movie. But I think maybe because we're kind of gearing away from strictly just Christmas movies. We're now just under the holiday moniker, which is
Hmm.
interesting. There's like a lot of kind of Jewish iconography, like kind of sprinkled throughout
Yeah,
the
that's
movie.
true. Yeah.
I think because we don't really do like Christmas movies, if this was like a full Christmas movie and you kind of replace like Bills with like the holiday spirit and stuff like that, I think you get a little bit of a similar movie, but maybe some of like the uniqueness is
Yeah,
a little bit.
it does. It would
Yeah,
feel a little more generic. That's a good point. Yeah. That's true. It kind of adds a quirky nature
yeah, for sure.
to it. Yeah. Um, I liked how Santa was kind of involved. I always, enjoy it when Santa's sort of a busybody matchmaker.
Yeah, like he's like an actor. He's definitely like a that guy actor.
Uh-huh.
Like he's from like the 90s. Like I could not place like where I know him from, but I've seen him just like sprinkle through like a bunch of stuff in the past. And so
Yeah, he
I
was
don't
he was familiar, and I'm not sure if he was in the first Touchdown movie. I can't remember who was Santa in that movie, but yeah, I've definitely seen him before, and
oh yeah.
it was fun. And the fact that Mrs. Claus was the owner of the Christmas store that they were doing all the research, that
Yeah,
was a
that was
fun
funny.
little tie-in at the end.
Yeah.
And uh, and we have that everybody around them again. Everybody around them can see that they're both super into each other. I really enjoyed Patty Murin as one of her sisters. She's the pregnant one in this, and your eyes light up when you talk about him and your friends. Are you sure that's all you want to be? This is good. This is good.
For sure.
It's not only wings that we get, but also the beef on weck, which I guess is a big thing in Buffalo.
I mean, there was something that was the peanut roll. It was like a peanut stick or something like that. It was like
Yeah, that was a new one.
everywhere got their local stuff.
I'm probably more for the beef on weck. That sounds probably better than the wings to me.
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't know. It depends. I guess I've had good wings. They can be a little fatty though.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, wings
When you get
are.
them crispy,
Oh yeah,
then
like
they can be
but
good.
wings are kind of universal at this point. Like you can get wings at like gas stations now.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
but at least the beef one Weka has like some
I mean, I've never had one, but
uniqueness
it
to it.
sounded good. Have you had a beef on weck?
I'm looking at it right now,
I mean, I've had like
and
a Philly cheesesteak. That's kind of sounds similar.
it's like so. Well, this is Google AI, so maybe AI is lying to me. But it's roast beef on a a rec roll effectively.
Oh,
But it's like I think you can dip it
that
as
sounds
well.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a roast beef sandwich in quite a while.
Oh, sounds good.
So yeah, it could be pretty interesting
Yeah,
to
let
give
us
it a
know
shot.
if you're listening. Let us know about beef on weck if you have a good recipe or a good place that you like to go. We'd love to hear that. But yeah, he talks to the coach and he's like, she's really great, and then as they're walking away, he says, the guys are right. He's really into her.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, yeah. Sean McDermott, he's actually pretty good in his limited role in this movie.
And he says, we're just friends. It's platonic. It's never going to happen. I wouldn't be opposed if it did happen, but I don't want to ruin the connection our family has.
Oh,
That's why
that's.
Friends to Lovers works. That's the thing. I try to tell her, and then I melt.
Oh,
And this is when he finds the receipt. So this is when they go to the wrong house at first. And I evidently there's this. So she gives this right here, right now speech. And evidently that's like a real thing because she's like, we're not going to give up. We're going to. And this is a
oh
real
yeah,
thing, this speech. The
yeah.
right here, right now, the Bills Mafia's iconic mantra. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Former Buffalo Bills head coach Marv Levy's words will forever
Yep.
live on as the mantra for one of the most electric and loyal fan bases in the NFL.
Yeah, so the older Bills players like Jim Kelly at the end and um the three like older gentlemen like that we first meet they all played under him. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is a classic Bill saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So that was fun. That was fun.
yeah, for sure.
And then we have them going out and they said, forget about the mystery, just go and enjoy Christmas. So we get the little scenes with them, and he gives her his coat, which is adorable. That was very
And
sweet.
in 2-degree weather.
Yeah. And we get a near kiss there. I love that in I love it when it makes sense, because sometimes they
Yeah.
work it into a Hallmark movie where it makes no sense. Like you would absolutely kiss the person at that time, but in this case it's in like a public space. It made sense, but like
Yeah.
you get that long lingering look at each other. It's
Yeah,
like
for
that was
sure.
good. That was really
Yeah.
fun. And um and this is the first time you've been together at Christmas in years. And so she talks to the uncle. This was a nice scene. She talks to him and says, do you have any regrets about not having a family of your own? And how do you feel? And he says that no, like he has no regrets. His life, that he's been able to have with the two of them, that that's all that he needed. It was a nice scene.
Yeah, that was that backyard scene. Yeah, that's one of my
Mm-hmm.
favorite scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
So, and actually for that scene in movies, you rarely get like men actually kind of expressing that
Yeah.
about either children or like being an
Yeah.
uncle or being a grandfather. Like, I mean, in this movie, like he was in a situation where like he helped raise them. And I think it's pretty cool that like we actually got a moment to where we have this like this uncle figure whose uncle who's basically a father figure, like basically taking the time out to say like I have zero regrets, no hesitation
Yeah.
about raising you guys. And I think
That's
that's
true. Usually it is a woman who kind of has these kinds of scenes.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's funny, like the way the scene is structured, it's normally the inverse where like maybe a son talking to a mother, uh,
Yeah.
but in this place we have like it's the gender roles, the gender dynamics a little bit flipped, where like
Mm-hmm.
the girl is like throwing the football and the guy is like taking the time out to praise that like he loved raising these children,
Yeah.
and that was a really good unique flip that we really don't see very often.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, I agree. And I guess we forgot to mention that so he had the Secret Santa that would helped out his family in hard times. That every Christmas he would get some kind of there would be just some money in the mail or a gift or something like that for years and years.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're researching. That's they're trying to find who would have done this, because one of the ornaments that they have, there was only a few made, and so that's why they're looking through the receipts of the store to see if they can find who this particular ornament was sold to.
Yeah.
So but it works as a setup, and he says, I love every second I get to. Oh wait, sorry. It worked really well, and so then they meet Mia because they find the photo, and it turns out Mia was Tommy's BFF basically. And they go to this different house, and she's there, and she admits, I was the Secret Santa.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like the BFFs from like the past generation.
Yeah,
Now like will they get a chance to rekindle? Who
yeah,
knows? The answer is always yes.
yeah. And she kept doing it because she was in love with him. I've loved him my whole life. Very sweet, very
Yeah,
sweet.
for sure.
If I kept sending him gifts, he was at least a part of my life.
Oh, that's really
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's really sweet for sure.
And he says, well, what if you told him? And she said, no, no, don't tell him. And so then they have this conversation, and he says, we're not giving up. And then he says, I love every second I get to spend with you. I love you. I forget all. I love your smile. I love how passionate you are about the Bills, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he says that I love every second I get to spend with you because I love you.
Yeah, for sure. And
And
I think you
so
mentioned I think you mentioned it earlier where this is not a movie where a guy's trying to dim a woman. Like he's not like intimidated by her, he's not like
yeah,
scared of her, he's not like embarrassed of her. Like he loves her and what her form is. And
yeah.
I think that's a pretty good I think that's a really good message to have like
But it's
where
also not like an anti-masculine movie either, like
at all,
these
yeah.
are these are football guys, these are tough guys, these are, like it's not like that warm and squishy if people are kind of, oh, they're going to do this to my football movie. No, like they're dudes, they're bros.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that I think a lot of dudes, a lot of men don't realize like you can still like be your masculine self, but also
Yeah,
not be afraid of women.
right,
Like
exactly.
a woman can still be a woman, and you
Yeah,
can like actually appreciate that for who
yeah,
she is and like what she brings to like
yeah,
what you want the relationship to be.
yeah.
So I thought that was
It
a really
was
good message.
interesting her response because they had been building up that she was super into him. So I was a little bit surprised that she was kind of like, ooh,
Yeah.
when he says this, that she was a little bit, I don't know. I mean, they have to keep the movie going. I get that, but I was a little surprised by her response.
I think it's actually in some of those instances when like you get like an emotional like um presentation like that, it can be
Yeah,
off-putting. Even if ultimately like that is what she wanted, even still like the reality of it, like it is
yeah,
actual reality now. It's not like this
yeah,
thing that we imagine or like I imagine in my head. It's in the ether, like it is here. Now, once it's here, how am I actually now going to react to it?
yeah,
Oh no. It's
yeah.
not a oh no, it's like I need to run, but it's like,
The shock.
oh,
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, I need to now figure out is this actually what I really want?
yeah,
And I think it was like you said, like you do got to extend that story somehow a little bit, but
yeah.
I think in this context, I do think it worked.
Well, and it made the ending kiss really fun because he's like,
Yeah,
I just want you to know that I respect you and blah 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 blah. And she, what I call I call it shut up and kiss me. One of the moments when you're just like, stop
yeah,
talking, which
for
was
sure.
really fun. So it did make for a nice ending. I also liked that they end up that they're going to get their family picture, which is another little thread of the movie. That because the one sister went into labor, they weren't able to get it at the game like they were hoping, and so they end up they're going to get the family photo on the field, and especially because this stadium is being retired, that's especially meaningful to have the family photo on the field.
Yeah.
But it was a sweet moment when they're like, we can't have the family picture without Gabe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It
And,
was sweet.
and one thing to point out, people don't think you can actually do this in real life. Like you
Oh yeah, sure.
you cannot get on these NFL fields in real life. So this is a movie,
I mean,
please.
if you happen to know somebody who's literally over stadium development, You might have a higher chance than others,
Yeah,
but yeah.
like you have to know someone like that's on the team or like in like the actual building of the stadium. So,
Yeah,
but no,
sure.
I think the family dynamic of this, like you kind of pointed out, is actually a really good thing. Like the idea that like, let's say they were friends. Let's say like this was not a romance movie, but they were like actual friends, and the real romance was
Yeah,
Joey Pants and
yeah,
Maya. Like the idea that like you can have like found family, like
yeah.
which before the relationship, like they basically were like they were
Hmm.
family friends, but you kind of have these instances where you become more than just friends, and so I thought that was pretty sweet to make sure that like we actually have an
Yeah.
acknowledgement of that.
And so Mia is there. Tommy thanks her for being his secret Santa. And they say, I love you. I've always loved you. Oh,
Yeah,
so
that was a great
sweet.
moment
So sweet.
for sure.
And and then we get the family photo on the field, the players, coach, everybody's there. And that's when she shut up and kiss me, kisses him, and
Yeah, for sure.
loves him too. And so very fun. But yeah, this was a lot better than I expected. I genuinely really enjoyed it. So I would give this one like we go off of 5 crowns, and it's
Okay.
one of the I think the better ones from this season. So I'd probably give it like a 4.5 or crowns out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it. I'd watch it again, which is usually my
The litmus
bellwether
test
to the litmus test. Yeah. What
for
would you give
sure.
it out of 5?
I give it 4 crowns out of
Yeah.
5. It was like I said, like I did appreciate like again like the actors that we have in these roles. I did appreciate kind of the nostalgia of like the 80s and 90s Bills legends
Hmm.
with the newer Bills players. Also the when they went to the house and the guy that opened the door, like that's another current Bills player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the tall guy with the curly hair, yeah, he's like their tight end, I think. So yeah, I think the mashing of all these ideas and like all these emotions, I think it worked really well.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like any true like significant flaws in the movie. I
Yeah.
think
For what it's trying to be, it really did work very well. Yeah, I'm glad that we got you a good one for your first Hallmark movie to cover. And thank you so much. This has been great. It's really fun to have new voices on the podcast. I always appreciate it.
for
And
sure.
how can people follow you on social media? And you said your podcast that you have?
Yeah, so my podcast is called We Should Do This Again Sometime. We are covering this season. We're doing best of the century for movies that we haven't already covered. And so we're doing that,
Mm.
but also we're doing a little bit of current movies as well. The again called We Should Do This Again Sometime on Twitter. I am at Showing That Love. SHOWINMADLOV on Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky, but I mean, is anyone on Blue Sky? I don't know. So so yeah, so that and also if you search on Letterbox, I'm there as well. It's at Showing That Love also, but if you search like the Mark Rob under the like member section, you'll see me with a little teddy bear
Cool.
icon. So
Good.
so yeah.
Well, we'll put that all in the description. So you also definitely check that out. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check all of that out. And make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That helps out the podcast so much, especially during this holiday time of year. The more ratings and reviews we have, the more the search engines and algorithms find us. So please take a second and do that. We'd really appreciate it. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We would really appreciate that. We are almost at 10K subscribers. I would love to get there by the end of the year. And we have about 85% of our viewership on YouTube is not subscribed. So if we could even get a few of those viewers to subscribe, it would really help us a lot. We would sure appreciate it. And we have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything that we're doing, get to be part of cool experiences. Like we have monthly watch alongs with talent. We have Q&As with talent. We also have bonus episodes, and you can listen to ad-free episodes of both Rachel's Reviews and Hallmarkies podcast if you are a Patreon. So we try to make it as worth your investment as possible. So check that out. And we have our merch store where we have tons of holiday inspired designs. We've got tons of movie inspired designs. And if you're looking for a present for the Hallmark fan, for the Hardy, for the Postable, for the rom-com fan, definitely check out our merch store. We sure appreciate that. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.